Everybody, hope you had a good week and having a good weekend. Welcome, everybody. Lots of new supporters, subscribers, members this week. Welcome and Happy New Year to everybody. Yeah, I had a good week. I had one of those cleansing kind of weeks, one of those housekeeping weeks. So there's not a huge amount to show you from here in the workshop. Lots of this kind of stuff going on, lots of packaging, many jigs shipped, which is excellent. I also knuckled down and did what I should have done before Christmas, which is to do my books, my accounts. It's the thing I hate most during the year, to be perfectly honest. And I've never liked it. I've never found it interesting. It's one of those weird things. I've always done it with a spreadsheet. And every year, if you've followed me on Instagram, you'll have seen me quip this in the week as well. Every year I spend a couple of days staring at a spreadsheet thinking there's got to be a better way, and then I seem to spend another couple of weeks in the new year checking out all the bookkeeping packages from Xero and QuickBooks and all those others, and at the end of that, a spreadsheet starts to look pretty good, to be perfectly honest. I don't think there's any one sort of solution for everybody, but for the minute I'm working on spreadsheets, and hopefully next year somebody else will be doing it, because I think I'm done with it now. Been doing it on my own this way for 40 years, so yes, I think somebody else can be looking after that. Just sort of general stuff. It's really nice. I wasn't sure if I was going to put a video out this week or not. I had a couple of ideas for it, but it got really late, so Thursday afternoon I just thought I'd kind of throw something together and see how it fell, and that's what I put out on Friday. I'm shooting this Friday afternoon, put it out earlier today, and that's doing incredibly well. It's my 5 worst purchases, and those sort of things always do well, apparently, but really quick and easy to do, and it's had 10,000 views in 3 hours or something. It's just gone mad. Whether that's sustainable, whether that continues, I don't know, but yeah, the initial response has been really good to it, so really pleased that I did it, and that means I've now got, as I said before Christmas, I'm going to go to a fortnightly schedule now. I might put a short out, or even just a regular shorter video out in the between weeks. But the proper videos, the big ones, are going to be every fortnight at best, to be honest. That's just how it's going to be. So good to start the year on a good one, and then we'll go on and we'll see what the next one is. The next video is probably going to be a little bit of electronics and electricery. So I'm going to swing you around a little bit, because I've got something here that I'd like to show you. To move you down a touch as well. This is all horribly lashed together, but what we've got here, we've got a little light, and we've got a little ready-made relay, and we've got a remote control. And that is not Bluetooth, unfortunately, but that just works absolutely flawlessly. Now imagine, if you will, instead of having a light on the end of that, you had a vacuum, because one of my best purchases, I think, of last year has been this, the new Festool CTL MIDI with the Bluetooth remote on the end of the hose. Having used that when I was doing the jig videos, I think having a remote on the end of the hose is as good as, if not better than, having a power takeoff on your vacuum. It's so convenient, especially for cordless tools. If you're using a cordless sander, or as I was, a cordless router, having a remote just on the end there is incredibly convenient. And even just for general cleanup, how many times have you run the sander or the router or whatever just to make the vacuum kick in, so you can clean something up quickly instead of reaching down under the bench, or going however far away it is, 4 meters or however long the hose is, to switch the vacuum on, because you haven't got that functionality on the end of the hose. So I'm sorry, and the reason I bought the MIDI is because there was a good price on it pre-Christmas, but my old MIDI isn't backwards compatible with a whole new Bluetooth thing. So, I mean, I am standing on the shoulders of giants here. I can't remember his name offhand. I'll have to dig it out and look for it. But there was a guy who got hold of me because he'd built his own relay to go inside the CTL sys to make it compatible with, I don't know if it was with the Bluetooth button or with just a regular little remote like this. But somebody, and again I'll check the names, maybe put them up on screen, on the UK workshop forum, used one of these and a ready-made relay. I'll give you some pictures of that because it's really quite small, to make the same sort of functionality after watching some of my videos, curiously, about the Aldi vacuum. So I think as a proof of concept, this is together and wired up, super simple to do. It's just a question of getting the power supply in the case, getting the switch right. I need to dig into the old MIDI to see what the options are in the back there, because you've got, I don't know how rotary switches work really with the Aldi vacuum. It's a simple little push button, but I might get it working as a proof of concept for the Aldi, and I'll get it into the MIDI, because I think this is potentially a very interesting video, because it doesn't give you the Bluetooth functionality, unfortunately, but it gives you the remote function. Obviously you just glue this to a bit of Velcro strap and wrap it around the hose, and that would be you in business. So yeah, super pleased with that. That is literally the first time that I've got it working. I've literally just been playing with it. It's 10 to 4 now on Friday afternoon, and I started fiddling with this and finding the bits for it about an hour ago. So super simple to do. As long as I can get into the guts of the MIDI, I think we'll have this out for the next video, which is quite exciting, because that then means that I can get that rattled through sort of early next week, because then that'll give me almost 4 weeks to get the MFT done, because that's going to be the next big thing. And I'm unsure, to be honest, about what to do about the front rail catcher. I had a couple of ideas of my own. I quite like the idea of trying, there's a company called Dashboard PWS, guy called Rob, who I know through Instagram, who makes these in the US. They're quite expensive to get here, but I think I might try getting the front rail support from him to see how that goes, see if I can make it work with the extrusion that I've got. Because that's going to be the next big one, because then once this is in place, then I can get the shelves up there, because I'll know where the rail falls, and then I've got some drawers to do back there, and then we're kind of, the makeover is kind of finished. So a few short weeks away, but yeah, all good. It really does feel like the pressure's off, having decided to switch to a fortnightly video, and it means that I can do more interesting little bits and pieces for you guys as well, instead of just me, like this one, instead of just me talking about stuff. You'll actually have me fiddling around with little bits and bobs. So yeah, quite excited about this. The other exciting thing that happened this week, I don't know if I mentioned it before. One thing I completely forgot to mention in last week's year in review was I got a mention in the Sunday Times. Now that didn't actually do very much for the channel. I think I said at the time it only generated like an extra day's worth of subscribers onto the channel. But one thing it did result in was it got me in touch with a few other YouTubers. I'd spoken to Robin Clevitt before, and we got in touch again, and also got me in touch with Charlie D.I. White, and he's part of my little, I've got a little WhatsApp group with a few guys in, and yeah, it's a nice little group. Anyway, Robin Clevitt, we were chatting about a few other things. He was congratulating me on the success of the jigs and everything, because he does his own hinge jig. In fact, that's how we first met online. He was asking me about packaging supplies and that sort of thing. Exciting conversations we have as YouTubers. And it turns out he actually uses a fulfillment center to deal with his entire fulfillment of his jigs, and it came through a viewer of his. Anyway, long story short, we've been in touch. Sounds really good, and we'll get something going. So, because at the moment I'm sort of artificially holding back the tide of orders, which I don't want to do because obviously I've got a whole stack of stock here. But because I just haven't got time to process them all. I'm sort of holding them back a little bit. Whereas if somebody else is doing it, I can kind of open the floodgates and get all the orders flowing. So yeah, really a very productive, very exciting week, even though it did start with doing my accounts, doing my books, which is a miserable thing to do, and I really, really don't like it. I'd be very happy if somebody else could do it for me. It is getting increasingly complicated though, with multiple income streams from different places, and the funds have to come in different ways, because if I pay PayPal funds into my business account, I get charged, I think it's 8% or something outrageous. So I have to funnel those through. Yeah, it's all unnecessarily complicated. I think I said before, I was chatting with Keith Brown once, who was saying, all we really wanted to do, he's been doing this 6 years, I've been doing this just 5. All we really wanted to do was put a few woodworking videos up online, and now we've got businesses that are, their reach is far beyond anything we could ever have imagined. But there we are. Anyway, that's it for this week. Thank you very much, everybody. I'll have a slightly more interesting one for you next week, I'm sure. Thank you for all your kind comments and your New Year wishes. Same back to everybody here. Welcome again to all the new members. Welcome back, of course, to the old friends, and I'll see you next week. All right, have a good weekend. Take care.